check. Mic check. Check. No, that's not really this one. Mic check. Please sit tight.
distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am Engineer Dr. Abel Ehime, a senior lecturer in the Department of Electrical Engineering, and presently the Assistant Dean Postgraduate School, Nigerian Defense Academy. With me today is
Dr. Mary Aiguje, the head of Department of Psychology, Nigerian Defense Academy.
I'm most delighted to welcome you all to the Academy Auditorium, the venue of the 23rd Convocation ceremony lecture in honor of the Cadets of 72 regular course and postgraduate students of the Nigerian and gentlemen. Over the years, the convocation lecture here at the Nigerian Defense Academy has always been one of those moments we look forward to. It is more than just a tradition on the program. It is an opportunity for us all to sit back, to learn, to reflect, and to be inspired. When we look back at previous lectures, one thing is clear. They have always left us better than they found us. Each one has opened our eyes to new ideas, challenges, the way we think about leadership and service, and also remind us of the vital role education plays in shaping not only cadet and postgraduate students, but also citizens who are ready to contribute to nation. This is a special occasion. We are not just here to keep a tradition alive. We are here with the expectation that today we look forward to fresh insights that will shape our thinking, our service, and our future. Because if history is anything to go by, it is to be undoubtedly memorable one of us present here. Therefore, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we are most delighted and honored to have you all as we live through this. Of the guests now for today, I need to pass the mic to my co-compare, Dr. and Mrs. Awa Aiguje, to please continue with the proceedings of today's event. But first of all, I would like to ask Dr. Awa, what do you think of today's event?
Those are ceremonies that are held worldwide to welcome students into the scholarly community. And it's an opportunity, it's a privilege. Permit me at this point to go through a profile of the academic branch of the Nigerian Defense Academy. The Nigerian Defense Academy was established in 1964 to meet the urgent need for an autonomous union for the training of officer cadets armed forces of Nigeria. Firstly, the Royal Military Academy, Sandhurst, United Kingdom, and the Indian Academy necessary and for the granting of commission into the armed forces of Nigeria. The academic branch of the NDA basically handles the academic form of training. For the purposes of academic program, the NDA was inception affiliated to the University of Ibadan to ensure that proper standards were maintained. The then Nigerian Certificate of Education examination, each cadet was expected to pass as part of the requirements for obtaining a commission. The Nigerian Defense Academy Certificate of Education, following the upgrading of the academy to a degree awarding institution with the powers to award its own degree in 1985, the academic branch was expanded to handle the degree awarding component of the NDA. The branch was saddled with the responsibility for conduct of the 4-year bachelor's degree and programs of the academy. The primary functions of the branch as a university are teaching, research, community development and service. The upgrading was in keeping with the trends in many leadership and academic ability capable of the demands of modern training. Subsequently, the curricular studies were reviewed to reflect this new role. The degree program commenced with 30 courses in 1985, and the duration the degree program academic training is from 3 to 5 years. 4 years for academics and 1 year for military training. The degree program commences with only 2 faculties, the Faculty of Arts and Sciences and the Faculty of Science. A total of 6 academic departments: consider history, physics, chemistry, mathematics. Few years later, the Faculty of Engineering and Technology was to offer courses and interdisciplinary studies, as well as the Faculty of Management Science were added to bring the number of faculties to 5 and the number of departments to 12. May I at this point welcome some special guests in our midst. May we make Brigadier General A.S. Aliyu, the Commander, 1 Military Intelligence Brigade. You are welcome, sir.
Director General, Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria, DJ Yobo. You are welcome. In our present day, to grace this occasion, is the Commandant, Force Institute of Technology.
In our midst also, dressed are members of the Nigerian Defense Academy or Officers' Wives Association. Thank you for gracing this occasion.
I will now, at this moment, take a brief on the postgraduate Nigerian Defense Academy. The postgraduate Nigerian Defense Academy was established in the 2005. The postgraduate in February 2006, with the first set of master's students graduating in October 2008. Of own in Nigeria, the NA postgraduate school probably the only type in a Nigerian university that enjoys the status integrated standalone campus, having a full complement of facilities, library and lodging. The academy parades an array of vibrant outreach activities, principally appreciated at namely research and community service. Research and scholarly activities are conducted in a non-attribution setting, desk orientation. The bulk of the special funded projects are solution-oriented. Nigerian Defense Academy vigorously promotes scholarship engagement, linking institutions, both military and civil, as well as national and local chiefs. Apart from providing areas of the core competence, the Nigerian Defense Academy Consult serves as a holding company responsible for outsourced commodity production and entrepreneurship. At this point in time, may I crave the indulgence of the band to please give us a brief music load, the band to place. Thank you very much, band. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to recognize some key appointment holders in the Nigerian Defense Academy. With us today is the Dean Postgraduate School, Professor N.A. David. Ma, you are welcome. Hands together for the Dean Postgraduate School.
Also now, Miss, we have the Director, Academic Planning, Professor Seidu. A round of applause.
With us is the Director, Linkages and Collaboration, Professor Ajibwa. Sir, you are welcome. Let's put our hands together for the Director, Linkages and Collaboration.
We also have Dean, Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences.
With us also is the Dean, Faculty of Engineering and Technology, Engineer Professor S. Ahmed. Please, let's put our hands together for the Dean, Faculty of Engineering and Technology.
Also in our midst, we have the Dean, Faculty of Science, Professor G. Ajibade. A round of applause, Faculty of Science.
Also is the Dean, Faculty of Military Science and Interdisciplinary Study, Captain Grand Navy, Dr. I. Danjuma. Sir, you are welcome. Let's put our hands together.
Is the Academy Librarian, Dr. R.O. Quadri. Ma, you are very welcome. Please, a round of applause for the Academy Librarian.
In our midst also is the Dean, Faculty of Management Sciences, Professor A.A. Alexander. Sir, you are welcome.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, among the dignitaries, we have Major General F.
With us also is the Area Officer Commanding Air Training Command, ably represented by Air Commodore H.S. Med. Let's put our hands together for him. Sir, you are welcome.
Present here also we have General Commandant Officers Academy. Sir, you are welcome.
Also by Brigadier General M.A. Kana. Sir, you are welcome.
Also in this auditorium, we have ably representing the Registrar of the Air Force Institute of Technology, Registrar, Air Force Institute of People, Squad Leader O.J. Amachoko. Welcome, sir.
Infantry Corps, representing Major General U.A. Yusuf is Brigadier General U.F.
Stepping into the auditorium, we have the coordinator, Nigerian Defense Officers Wives Association, Hajia Halima. Welcome. A round of applause for the coordinator, Ndawa. At this point of the program, may permit me to continue with the brief on the academic branch. office and other conditions of service is similar to vice chancellors of civil universities. Currently is Professor Isa Garba. Other principal officers in the academic branch, the registrar, who is a serving military officer, dean of postgraduate school, and the academic and administrative functions of the branch. In addition to the academic library, faculties, departments, and Directorate of Academic Planning. Also inclusive in that branch are 10 research centers or units that are directly under past provosts. From 1985 to 1992, we had Professor S.C. From 1992 to 1996, the academic provost of this branch was Professor M. Jibril. From 1996 to 2004, the academic provost was Professor S.U. Abdullahi. From 2004 to 2000, from August 2012 to February 2015, Professor S.O. Okeniyi acted as the academic provost. In February 2015 to February 2020, Professor A.S. Nwankwo served as the academic provost, serving as academic provost.
I will now run through a brief profile of the academic registrar. The academic registrar is a serving military officer of Brigadier General and is responsible to the commandant for the day-to-day administrative activities of the academic branch. The academic registrar is assisted by the Senior Deputy Registrar, Establishment and Training, the person of Mr. F.B. Bakare, Senior Deputy Registrar and Present Secretary, Postgraduate School, Mrs. Finiki Oka, Deputy Registrar, Admission Cadets Matters, Lambe Yusuf, and the Senior Registrar Coordination, Ms. R. Christophe, and finally, Senior Deputy Registrar, Directorate of Linkages and Collaboration, Mrs. A.Y. Bala. I will now run through the chronicle of past academic registrars. G.X. Muhammad happened to be the first registrar of the academy, and he served from August 8, 1985 to July 1989, where he handed over the mantle to Lieutenant Colonel L.J. Issa. It was now the turn of Colonel to be the registrar of this great academy from the year December 1990 to January 1992. Closely followed by Lieutenant Colonel M.B. Marwa, who served as registrar from February 1992 to December 1992. Then we have Colonel M.B. Marwa, who served as registrar from the year December 1992 to September 1993. We have Lieutenant Colonel A.B. Dambazu. He served as registrar from the year September 1990 to January 1996. Then we have Colonel A.B. Dambazu from Ibrahim, who served as registrar from the year July 1999 to November 2001. It was the turn of Lieutenant Colonel C.O. Esekai, who served as registrar from November 2001 to January 2003. He continued to be in office as Colonel and served from the year January 2003. CDPN, now a brigadier general, served as a registrar in this great academy from the year December 2005 to August 2007. Closely followed by Brigadier General B.M. Badewale. He served as registrar from the year August 2007 to December 2008. Thereafter, the mantle was handed over to Brigadier General A.T. Jibrin. He served to September 2011. It was now the turn of Colonel H.E. Ayamasowe, who served as registrar from 13. Now, Brigadier General H.E. Ayamasowe continued to play the role of the academic registrar of this great academy from the year January 2013 to September 2014. Closely followed is Brigadier General K.A. Essien. He served as registrar of this great academy from the year 2014 to the year January 2015. Thereafter, it was the turn of Brigadier General O.T. Akinjobi, who's January 2016. Thereafter, we have Brigadier General I.M. Yusuf. He served as registrar of this great academy. From those followed is Brigadier Jalo, who served as registrar of this great academy from the year May 2017 to January 2020. Closely followed is Brigadier General A.A. Abuaba. He served. Closely followed is Brigadier April 2021 to January 2023. Thereafter, it was the turn of Brigadier General A.M. Tukur, who served as registrar of this great academy from the year January 2000, leadership of the academic registrar of this great academy to the most recent academy registrar in person of Brigadier General O.A. Oguleye, who is presently serving as the academic registrar of this great academy from October 2024 till.
If I continue to run through some of the key appointments of the academic branch, may I make welcome in our midst a representative of the Commandant, Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Judge. You're welcome, sir. May we make welcome Brigadier General T. Ahmed in our midst. You are welcome. Is the Cadets Brigade Commander, Brigadier General A.N. Eze. Sir, you are welcome. Please, a round of applause. At this point, I will continue to run through some of the key appointments of the academic branch. Beginning with the faculty A Dean, as earlier mentioned, Professor J.K. The Department of Languages, which is headed by Associate Professor D.E. Sabo. The Department of Geography, headed by Associate Professor E.N. Gandapa. The Department of History and War Studies, headed by Associate Professor H. Jibril. The Department of Defense and Security Studies, headed by Associate Professor S. Faculty of Science. The Dean of this faculty is Professor G.A. Ajibade. Departments. The Department of Biology is headed by Department of Chemistry is headed by Dr. P.E. Omale. The Department of Mathematical Science by Associate Professor A.M. Badmos. The Department of Physics is headed by Dr. J.C. Agomo. Faculty of Management Science. This faculty is headed by Professor A.A. Alexander. Faculty is made up of 4 departments. Department of Economics is headed by Dr. M.G. Department of Logistics and Supply Chain Management is headed by Lieutenant Colonel Dr. Oguche. Department of Management Science is headed by Dr. E.C. Iluno. Faculty of Military Science and Interdisciplinary Studies. The faculty is headed by Naval Captain I.M. Danjuma, and it is made up of 4 departments. Department of Security and Intelligence Studies, Security and Intelligence Channel A, ISA. Department of Cybersecurity is headed by Dr. M. Ibrahim, and Department of Computer Science is headed by Associate Professor M. E. Irebude.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, program of today's event. Upon arrival of the guest speaker for today, we are expected to please be on our feet to welcome the guest speaker. Thereafter, our address. Closely followed, we will have the station of the guest lecturer to be followed by the convocation lecture. After which we will have the presentation of souvenirs, vote of thanks, national anthem, group photograph will be taken, a tour of the academy, and finally, launch dispersal. At this instance, permit me to crave the indulgence of the band to please give us a soft musical interlude. The band, please. Thank you. Thank you, the band. Thank you so much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the Nigerian Defense Academy. With us today is the Director of Logistics, also the Director of Administration, Commodore R.T. Oladejo. Please, let's put our hands together for the Director of Administration. And Eze, sir, you are welcome. Let's put our hands together for him, please. Now, sir, you are welcome. Let's put our hands together for him, please. We also have with us the Director. Sir, you are welcome. Sorry, I'll take that again. The Director of Coordination, Commodore S.T. Lengaya. Please, let's put our hands together for him. Thank you, sir.
The Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences is one of the pioneer faculties, namely Economics, Geography, and History, now called History and War Studies. Languages and psychology were added to this faculty, thus bringing them to a total that gave birth to the Department of Defense and Security Studies. While a restructuring process led to the amendment of the department, a recent decoupling of the Department of Energies further gave birth to the Department's Arabic and units under the Department of Languages are French, Arabic, and individual and group levels continue to take place in this faculty.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, of the guest speaker for today, expect to place your faith to welcome the guest speaker, who is accompanied by the Commandant, Nigerian Defense Academy. Pioneer faculties in academic branch Defense Academy. It came into existence in the year 1985 and commenced with 3 departments, namely Department of Chemistry, Department of Mathematics, and Department of Physics.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, announcing the arrival of the guest speaker for today's occasion, Dr. Emomotimi John Agama, Director Securities and Exchange Commission, accompanied by the Commandant, Nigerian Defense Academy, Major General A.K. Ibrahim, Officer of the Order of the Federal Republic. Today, the 10th day of September 2025, we have the privilege to witness the 23rd Nigerian Defense Academy Convocation, which is titled Economy. At this point, we'll take the national anthem of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The national anthem, please. May I, at this point, pray for indulgence as the meeting brief of the Academy Auditorium.
Before providing you with the service to orient you with this venue, we are currently in the main hall of the auditorium. The high table is situated at the front of the house with 29 rows of seats, each in the lower section of the Academy Auditorium. There are 2 columns of seats situated at the extreme left and right of the upper section of the auditorium. The band and control room is at the upper middle section of the auditorium, directly facing the high table. There are 14 entrance doors, which also serve as exit doors, 2 to the left and right of the high table, tagged exit coat of arms, which is specially reserved for the VVIP. The exit door tagged exit A is for other special guests. To the right of the lower section of the auditorium, an exit B4. To the left of the lower section, there are 4 exit doors tagged exit C1, exit C2, exit C3, and exit C4. There are also 2 exit D2. Additionally, there are 2 exit doors at the upper left section of the auditorium, tagged exit E1 and exit E2. There are also 2 exit doors at the upper right section, tagged exit F1 and exit F2. The restrooms, for your convenience, are situated at the extreme left end of the foyer, leading into the auditorium on both the lower and upper sections, while the VVIP and VIP restrooms are located in their respective lodges within the auditorium building. The muster point for participants is 1, the open space directly behind the auditorium, and 2, the open space. Kindly acquaint yourself with the closest exit door next to you. In the unlikely event of an emergency, please do not panic. Kindly adhere to the following instructions. Those on the high table should start point. Participants in the lower section, seated in the 2 columns and rows to the extreme right of the central aisle, should proceed calmly in an orderly manner through exit doors tagged exit B1 near towards the main entrance or the rear of the auditorium, and make your way to the designated muster points. Participants in the lower section, seated in the 2 columns and rows to the extreme left of the central aisle, should move in an order onto the main entrance or through the back of the auditorium and head to the designated muster points. Participants in the lower section, seated in the 2 columns and rows exactly in the middle of the auditorium, are advised to proceed calmly in an orderly manner through the exit doors tagged exit D1 and exit D2 behind them, onto the main entrance and head to the designated muster point through exit doors tagged exit E1 and exit E2. Also, participants in the upper right section of the auditorium should move in an orderly manner through exit doors tagged exit F1 and exit F2. All should head through the stairwells onto the main entrance and proceed to the designated muster points. Physically challenged persons should be assisted by those seated next to them to evacuate the building. In the event of a power due to the nearest exit point and onto the designated muster point, should you forget any, please do not go back into the building. Your safety remains our priority. This message is from the Nigerian Defense Academy Directorate of Information and Communication Technology.
Thank you, media team, for that safety brief. The guest speaker, Change Commission, the Commandant, Nigerian Defense Academy, Major General A.K. Ibrahim, OFR, Commandants of Tri-Service and other military training institutions, commanders of military formations, heads of paramilitary established institutions, heads of ministries, departments, and agencies, past commandants of Nigerian Defense Academy, Deputy Commandant, Nigerian Defense Academy, Academy Provost, Academy Registrar, principal staff officers of the Academy, Academy Librarian, so Nigerian Defense officers both serving and retired, and department, distinguished alumni of Nigerian Defense Academy, graduating cadets of 72 regular course, distinguished invited guests, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Hawa Aigoje, a senior lecturer and head of Department of Psychology, and with me is Engineer Dr. Abel Ariboman, an academic staff of the Department of Electronic Engineering, and presently the Assistant Dean of Postgraduate School, and together will serve as your compares for today's occasion. You are welcome to the auditorium, the 23rd Convocation Lecture, Nigerian Defense Academy. We are extremely privileged to be part of one of the greatest beauties of university culture, which is the presentation of new idea problems. As soon shall be demonstration lecture, established tradition universities and higher education institutions across the world. And today, the Academy joins its counterparts in Nigeria and other parts of the world in hosting a lecture to provide our course and postgraduate students. Guest speaker, sir, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, event. Today's lecture is titled Pathway to Economic Prosperity for a Public Servant in a Deregulated Economy. To open this ceremony, distinguished guests, may I respectfully invite the
our speaker for today, Dr. Emomomi John Agama, Director General, Securities and Exchange Commission. He has a nickname, Civilian Combatant. The representative of General Officers Commanding Flag and other military training institutions or their representatives, commanders of heads of tertiary institutions or their representatives, heads of ministries, departments and agency officers of the Academy, Wives Association, my lovely wife Hajia Halima, senior military officers of faculties, graduating cadets of 72 regular course and postgraduate students, families of the graduates, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Before I start my prepared text, I want to say we are in for a very interesting 1 or 2 hours. Dr. Emotimi is somebody who is passionate about eradicating poverty in our society. He is also passionate about issues of investment and empowerment, especially who believe that after retirement, a military officer should have a comfortable life
Part of the reasons we have issues is because of lack of investment, knowledge, and good management of the little resources that come into our hands. So I'm sure we do justice in the other things. Convocation lecture of the Nigerian Defense Academy. This occasion is particularly momentous. Permit me at the outset to warmly welcome and acknowledge our distinguished guest lecturers and Exchange Commission for graciously accepting our invitation to deliver today's lecture. I equally extend a most cordial welcome to our eminent guests, parents, guardians, officers, both serving and retired, and members of the academic community. Indeed, all who have gathered here to share in this significant intellectual and commemorative event to its foundational mandate of providing primary officer training for the Nigerian Armed Forces, not only in Nigeria, but also across other sister African countries. The Academy's training philosophy has always been holistic to ensure that graduates emerge as rounded commissioned officers. In pursuit of this mission, the Academy continues to refine its curriculum, strengthen institutional frameworks, and upgrade its facilities in alignment with global best practices and the ever-changing security environment. The academic branch of the Nigerian Defense Academy, under the leadership of the Academy Provost, operates with the structure and rigor of a conventional university, conferring bachelor degrees upon certain courses. The branch also coordinates our vibrant postgraduate school, oversees the Academy Library, and provides a broad array of postgraduate programs open to both military and civilian candidates. In line with the new National Universities Commission Core Curriculum Minimum Academic Standard, the Academy has adopted the standard to ensure quality, comparability, and competitiveness in its programs. The adoption of the Core Curriculum Minimum Academic Standard is justified by commitment to align academic training with global standards, while tailoring curricula to meet national defense needs, to advance scientific and strategic research, and promote innovation at the university. The military branch of the Academy provides intensive professional training, amongst others, designed to prepare cadets as warriors for national defense. This training paradigm has evolved to respond to complexities of contemporary warfare and the demands of the 21st century. Today, cadets are equipped with the foundational depth to engage emerging security challenges, including cyber threats and unconventional warfare, while embracing technologies associated with the fourth industrial revolution, such as artificial intelligence, robotics, and biotechnology, backed by simulation training. These capabilities are harnessed in support of military operations, counterterrorism strategies, and national security imperatives. In the spirit of Pan-Africanism and Nigeria's strategic role in Africa, the Academy continues to open its doors to cadets from sister African countries and strengthens regional defense cooperation. Additionally, the Academy benefits from bilateral partnership with foreign military academies, which provide opportunities for outstanding cadets to complete their final year of consolidated military training national horizons. At the postgraduate level, the Academy Postgraduate School has consolidated its reputation as a center of excellence in higher learning and research, are open not only to officers of the armed forces and sister security institutions, but also to our civil friends. The overarching mission of the Nigerian Defense Academy Postgraduate School is to enhance the Academy's mandate as a military university by raising the capacity for knowledge production, innovation, and creativity to nurture a first-class mentality amongst its graduates. Postgraduate education at the Academy seeks to develop in students the spirit of inquiry and research in an environment that balances intellectual independence with teamwork, with a focus on military science, defense, strategic studies. Graduate programs aim to impart rigorous academic knowledge while offering practical orientation to address Nigeria's evolving developmental and security challenges. Distinguished guests, the essence of the wider academic and professional community by drawing on the insights of an accomplished individual. Today's lecture, to be delivered by Dr. John Agama, promises to be stimulating and thought-provoking. Without preempting the content, I am particularly keen on hearing his reflections on the pathways to economic prosperity for Nigeria's public servants in the context of a deregulated and underemployment, and the role of public servants, particularly considering the desire of this administration to diversify Nigeria's continuous dependence on oil and gas revenues amidst turbulent global markets. These are critical issues with profound implications for national development, security, and institutional. Once again, warmly welcome you to the 23rd Convocation Lecture of the Nigerian Defense Academy. I thank you most sincerely in intellectual exchange. Thank you.
Thank you so much, the Commandant, for that insightful opening remark. At this point, may I invite Group Strong Leader PU. May I also humbly request the Commandant stage reading of his citation.
Richard Bell, a Canadian-American inventor, scientist, and engineer, who is credited patenting the first practical phone, was remarked, and I quote, "Before everything, preparation is key for us today and would certainly be of benefit to the graduating officer cadets and postgraduate students." Our distinguished guest speaker for today, Dr. Emomotimi John Agama, the Director General of Securities and Exchange Commission, a seasoned and exceptionally trained economist, financial analyst, and management accountant with over 3 decades initiatives to drive organizational growth. Dr. Agama attended River State University of Science and Technology, Port Harcourt, where he obtained Bachelor of Science in Accounting in 1991. He holds Master of Science in Benin. He acquired a graduate certificate in America. In his desire for academic excellence, Dr. Agama holds a Doctor of Philosophy in Economics, has over 20 professional certifications on different aspects of financial management, from globally renowned professional training, prepared him for the elected office which he currently occupies. Besides these academic milestones, He is a fellow of several professional associations, including Fellow Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers, Association of Capital Markets Academics of Nigeria, and International Finance Corporation from Macon Institute Capital Program, amongst others. Has held many key positions as Securities and Exchange Commission, starting as a senior manager in 2004, rising through the rank to his current position. From 2008 to date, he has been a standing faculty member of the Nigerian Capital Institute. He has also been a standing faculty member of the National Pension Commission from 2011 till date. In 2018, he became the head of registration, exchange, and market infrastructure and innovation. He held this position until January 2021, when he became the managing director of Nigeria Capital Market Institute. Of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Grand Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, appointed as guest speaker. A distinguished academic and expert in capital markets operations, Dr. Agama is abroad. He is chair and member of several committees within purview of the Securities and Exchange Commission, capital market regulations and education, securities and investment management. Others are regulatory oversight and governance, risk management strategy, and leadership in capital development. In his current role as the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Dr. Agama is entrusted with steering the regulatory body towards heights of success. He is committed to driving strategic initiatives, fostering innovation. The Commandant, sir, our esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, a distinguished personality to deliver the guest lecturer, sir, may you proceed to the podium to deliver your lecture.
Commandant, Nigerian Defense Academy, Major General A.K. Ibrahim, OFR, General Officers Commanding Flag, General Officers Commanding, Flag Officers Commanding, Air Officers Commanding, Commandants of Trial Service Entry Training Institutions, Vice Chancellors, Provosts, and Rectors of tertiary institutions, Heads of Ministries, Departments and agencies, past Commandants of the Nigerian Defense Academy, Deputy Commandant, Nigerian Defense Academy, Academy Provosts, Academy Registrars, Principal Officers of Academy, Academy Librarian, the Coordinator, Nigerian Defense Academy Officer Wives Association, Senior Military Officers, both serving and retired, and indeed, and the Nigerian people, Dean of Faculties, Directors, Heads of Centers and Departments, distinguished alumni and postgraduate students, distinguished invited guests, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a great honor for me, as the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, the Apex Capital Markets Regulator, to be invited here by this most august body, and indeed the Nigerian Academy, to deliver convocation lecture. I am indeed very proud that I was so invited. But beyond that pride is humility. I am greatly humbled. I was chosen from among 220 million Nigerians to do
and I believe that I have a role to play in the lives of these cadets that are soon going to graduate into strong military officers for this nation. I need to provide some inkling around what it means to be an officer and the value placed on officers by the Nigerian people and the Nigerian government. The commandant, I'm sure, has a snippet into what I have taught through around making sure we as Nigerians sleep safe and sound, closing our eyes, while in their own making sure that they do the best for this nation by protecting us in every that they can. That is no mean sacrifice. It is no small sacrifice for anyone to give his life for his people. That is exactly what these officers have done to the Nigerian people and indeed Nigerian government. At the time, it is also important to note that the final, either while service or of service. And so, for me, it is important that I provide a guidance around 61 years ago, when the NDA was established. This was part of culture, teaching officers to be and the financial crisis that everyone must face. And so for me, this is an opportunity to share an insight into what needs to be done and how that needs to be done. Has initiated bold and transformative reforms across key sectors, laying a solid foundation, has undertaken several significant macro-fiscal reforms, including the removal of fuel subsidies, the unification of exchange rates, and the lightening of monetary policies. Alongside these measures, the country has made notable progress in key sectors of the economy. Collectively, these reforms aim to stabilize the economy and foster a more market-oriented and deregulated environment. It is important to note here what the title of this lecture is. Eliminate Nigeria's long-standing fuel subsidy program on May 9 to 9th, 2023 was more than a fiscal adjustment, in fiscal burdens and redirecting public funds to more productive sectors, and more signaled, the move signaled Tinubu's determined by supply and rather than government control. Complementing the reform, the government has begun scaling back private investment into the power sector. To address rising inflation and support the Naira, the Central Bank of Nigeria has adopted as part of a broader strategy to stabilize prices, restore investor confidence, and lay the foundation for a more market-oriented and resilient, indeed also of the country's multiple exchange rate systems, aimed at simplifying foreign exchange, macroeconomic outlook, stabilization and transition, making reform strategies for 2025 and beyond. During the Economic Summit Group, 25 key reforms such as the removal of fuel unification of exchange windows, critical steps towards imbalances. These reforms reflect bold reforms, late Article 4 consultation report, applauded Nigerian authorities for adopting bold and politically dealt measures that have significantly improved economic resilience, contributed and official channels re-entry into the global capital market and capitalization in the first quarter of 2025, reaching highest quarterly quarter 1 2020. Signs of disinflation are beginning to emerge, with high headline inflation easing to 21.88% in July to 2.22% in June. The World Bank's development update further highlights the reforms, reporting a 3.4% GDP growth for the year, a 4.6 year increase, the highest in over a decade. The June purchasing power index also indicated expansion in an economic activity for the 6th consecutive month. But indeed, for me, it is not about rhetoric and theory. It's about providing a basis for us to be able to understand exactly what it means to be a public servant and how important that is in terms of prosperity. So who is a public servant? According to the Webster Dictionary, a public servant is a government official or employee. According to the 1999 Constitution, the public service of the Federation is described as service of the Federation in any capacity in respect of the government of the Federation. In practical terms, this means that all institutions involved in implementing government policies, executing programs, and delivering services to meet the needs of citizens are collectively referred to as public servants. And these public servants include military officers. So according to the Civil Service Handbook, the public service also encompasses the armed forces, the judiciary, and the police. The core mission of the public service is to play a crucial role in shaping economic policies, ensure efficient governance, and fostering sustainable development. Government decisions and actions have a profound impact on public policy. Importantly, majority of these decisions, most of whom are appointed rather than elected. The quality and effectiveness of these decisions depend primarily on the competence of delivery. The quality of public service is a cornerstone of Africa's societal development and future prosperity. Strong institutions and delivery not shape the well-being of citizens, but also determine the trajectory of national progress. However, realizing this potential depends significantly on the both professionally and economically. Economic prosperity among public servants erodes motivation and is significant to meet basic financial needs. Their capacity to focus, innovate, and deliver quality service diminishes. This not only affects individual performance, but also weakens the overall effectiveness of public institutions and indeed the armed forces. When public servants are equipped with the right tools, fair compensation, and a supportive working environment, they are better positioned to impactful and efficient services. Their ability to perform at the highest level is further enhanced when they enjoy high economic prosperity, financial stability, not only boosts morale and motivation, but also fosters a sense of duty and commitment to purpose and policy. In a deregulated economy, where performance and accountability are key, the delivery and a reflection of a thriving public sector. When public servants are empowered with the right tools, it's directly tied to the strength of the public sector. Indeed, the prosperity of the armed forces is directly in its most practical sense. Begins with assurance of life's essentials, food, shelter, clothing, and transportation, and insurance to secure one's future and the ability to access goods and services that enhance the quality of life. And a public responsibility. For the Nigerian public servant, achieving prosperity requires not only financially, but also strategic use of opportunities that a liberalized market definitely presents. What is deregulation in the Nigerian economy? Deregulation refers to reduction or elimination of government controls in specific industries, aiming to foster freer business operations, and enhance competitiveness. By removing barriers, industries can more easily encourage competition, lower consumer prices, and greater innovation, freed from deregulation, from regulatory constraints. Yes, I will deviate a little bit, because what I have covered, though it's an academic lecture, there is need for dynamism, and there's need for a story that touches the heart of everyone hearing, speaking to this afternoon. And what has happened very clearly, shift to long-term benefits. As most structural reforms, the transition period has not been without pain. Rising living costs amid economic transitions. Households, including public servants, are experiencing higher living costs due to pass-through effects from exchange rate realignment. But what are the operational strengths on businesses? Businesses have faced increased operational costs, tighter financing conditions, and uncertainties in supply chains as they adjust to the new market realities. Nonetheless, there have been long-term benefits that we actually anticipate. These hardships are transitional in nature, reflecting the short-term adjustment cost of moving from a subsidized and subsidized pricing. No pain, no gains. And for that reason, very difficult to determine. How do we measure this? There have been improved economic indicators. The Nigerian Exchange All Share Index maintained our trajectory has been achieved even as August following these reforms. Headline inflation has decreased and the GDP has improved. The PMI also has shown sustained growth, and this is very, very important for the 6th consecutive month. But however, in all of this, there is a need for early gains from reforms and structural adjustment to be seen. International reserves are rising, and indeed, re-entry into global capital market is expected. The credit rating as officers, what do we need as public servants to be able to maintain that path of prosperity we have so desired on is to invest long term. Why have we had challenges as public servants? We have had challenges as public servants because we eat service. We have had challenges as public servants because we do not recognize that there is a rainy day. We have challenges as public servants because we actually do not have the education to save. So it's important that even as graduating cadets, to begin to start the process of saving right from day one. Not just when you are graduating, but indeed when you are enrolled. So regularly invest. For each time, put something aside to invest. As that goes, it grows like an oak. And when you do that, you are investing for the long term. You are investing to eat the money when you are retired. It is sad, very, very saddening to see a lot of retired officers not living well because the income that they have is not enough to take care of those families. It's also because they have wives, making sure that we are safe and we survive. Knowing fully well that we have signed for the ultimate prize to defend our nation. It becomes important that this education comes early in our lives. And as we build our families will be strong, knowing fully well that our finances will defend them in the rainy day. What are the 4 steps? Financial readiness. Gratifying financial fine, short and long-term hardship very early in the course of our living, in the course of our career. Every officer, every public servant must determine for themselves that indeed I don't want to retire into poverty. Indeed, I want my children to have the best education. Indeed, I want to retire and live well. Indeed, I want to retire and remain in my house, reading my newspapers or blowing my pipe, knowing fully well that my future is secured. It is also important that as officers, as public servants, we must learn to build emergency funds. Establish an emergency fund covering 6 months of expenses to protect against unforeseen events. Let us be sure that if money you are able to do that, you are going to survive within that 6 months and come out better off. We must create a budget, track income, and categorize expenses into fixed, variable, and discretionary for better control. I must advise that one of the greatest accountants within our families are our wives. And so, officers must rely on the intuitive powers of the woman, the wife that we have kept, has always been there for us. Strategic investment is also very important. We need to invest in long-term perspective, using that as we do this, we are redirecting spending and investment principles. Small daily savings can accumulate large investments annually, boosting future financial growth. The golden rule of investing means that financial security. You must be in agreement with your family around your goals and desires for the future. How do you want your health service scheme to run? What kind of hospitals do you want to attend? What kind of neighborhood do you want to live in? How do you want to? And being a light of the society, your people, your relations, your friends will all depend on you. And they cannot depend on you when you do not have what to depend on. And the only way you can have what to depend on is when you have a good saving and a good investment. Because whether you like it or not, you have a responsibility towards them, because they all contributed in making you who you are. Aquaculture preserves value by offsetting inflation impact on finances. Imagine if you have a small poultry. What would that mean? And your birds lay a crate of egg every 2 days. What would that mean, please? That every office has the responsibility or has the capacity to be able to nurture through their family members. So it is important that agriculture should be one of the priorities of every officer, making sure you provide that opportunity to be able to grow your food so that you will buy less food and spend less money on food. And when you yield LD, you are definitely going to be able to gather and live longer. There are various forms of investment, the money market and the capital market. Why do we need the capital market? Is to build wealth and achieve long-term growth. Long-term, years and decades, to be moderate to, of course, the return potentials are very high. But as you grow old, what you need to do is to invest in fixed income securities. Fixed income securities provide you both your principal and your interest, even though it is smaller. It's important that your age determines your investment horizon. Your investment horizon could either be speculative, transactional, or precautionary. It all depends on exactly where you stand at where you started from, and transactional. As a retiring officer, your investment horizon should be precautionary, because you are losing stress. Why should public servants participate in the capital market? Why should the armed forces participate in the funds for personal or entrepreneurial ventures, especially through instruments like bonds and equities? Wealth creation opportunities. Investors can grow their wealth through capital appreciation, increase in the value of investments over time, dividend stocks, securities, bonds, ETF, which reduces exposure to risk and helps to balance returns across different sectors and instruments. Investor protection is key for the capital market. The SEC's responsibility and twin objective is investor protection. How do we protect investors? We protect investor by the various rules and regulations set out in the Investment and Securities Act No. 2 of 2025, and by making sure we safeguard the custody of securities. Investors can lodge their assets with licensed custodians, eliminating risk associated with physical share certificates and all other platforms. Assessing professional advice. Licensed investors, investment advisors, and portfolio managers offer expert guidance research-backed investment strategies, and tailored portfolio management. I will need to emphasize this because the officers are very busy. They have more superior job to do at hand. It is important that you employ professionals to be able to help you in managing of your business. Your business is to protect this nation. Your business is to protect Nigerians. Your business is not to manage your business. Your business to be managed by a professional. And that is very, very important. As Securities and Exchange Commission, then you will get the benefit that you so deserve. What are the benefits and risks of capital market participation? Benefits of capital market participation include providing capital appreciation, dividend income, liquidity, and equity ownership with voting rights. Risks in capital markets are always there. Advisors, this risk will be mitigated. Risk management strategies will be adopted through diversification, asset allocation, and regular portfolio reviews, which help risk that you often see. Investors' guidelines are also available. Choosing a qualified broker, monitoring investment, and aligning with personal goals ensures successful market participation. What we have discovered most recently in the Nigerian capital market sector is that the women are now investing more than the men. And the reason why the women are investing more than the men is that oftentimes the women will first encourage them to continue in this fight. The capital market is a vehicle for prosperity. Diverse investment instruments are available. The capital market offers various instruments, including equity, debts, mutual funds, commodities, dividends, while debt instruments offer fixed return, ensuring balanced investment options. At the SEC, we are digitizing the market, and so you can invest with your phone. You do not need to go anywhere. All you need to do is, by the press of a button, you are able to invest. And most recently, the bank offers had come, and they were all oversubscribed. Very soon, the insurance companies will also come to the market, and I'm very sure each and every Federal Republic of Nigeria just signed again mild legislation, which is called HINOUR 2025. That is the Nigerian Insurance Act 2025. And that is going to revolutionize the insurance industry. Therefore, I encourage you, review them and speak to your specialists, speak to your advisor, and invest in them for the future of both yourself and your family. Mutual funds and portfolio diversification. Mutual funds are the investments you make. The possibility of a loss is reduced. And that is what you need. Because as officers and as public servants that are serving our nation in very delicate areas, you need a peace of mind, knowing fully well that the money that you have invested will someday bring to you when you need them. So it is encouraging that every of your child, I speak, from this, that every officer here, once you have a child, one of the first things let me tell you, we are not alone. The President of the United States of America has just instituted policy that every we should not be different. We should seize the opportunity of the capital market to secure our future, to secure the family, and the future of our children. It is important that as we do this, we are able to meet the requirements that we need to have a prosperous future. I've spoken about equities, I've spoken about debt, I've spoken about collective investment schemes, but I also speak about commodities. Nigeria is an agrarian economy. It's a rich economy in terms of agriculture. Every place you look, everywhere you look in Nigeria, you find a farm. Not only do you find a farm, in 36 states of this country, you have over 70 crops that are in commercial quantity. Not just the crops, in every state in this country, you have mineral that is of significant importance. And all of these add to the strength of our Nigerian nation. But beyond it is the fact that you and everyone sitting here has the potential of investing in this area. And so when you invest in it, what happens is that you will see your investment. You will gain out of investment. This is very important. Right commodities, you have digital assets that have started to run. I advise, if you are old, you don't need to invest in cryptocurrency. But if you are young, of course, you have capacity to speculate. So importantly, the SEC has introduced regulations to meet those challenges that you will ordinarily observe if they regulate. And kudos again, Mr. President, in the signing into law of the investment and the benefits of Nigerian youth. There are several capital market products. We have mentioned all of them for emphasis. Equity securities, mutual funds, derivatives of this security, of these commodities. Each of the products has specific interest. What is the interest? The guarding of investment. What I compare them is short-term trading, which involves frequent buying and selling, profit from price fluctuations, requiring quick decisions and a high risk tolerance. Long-term investment, which speaks to investing in steady growth through disciplined holding and fundamental analysis over an extended time period. Choosing the right strategy is the way to go. What is the right strategy? Financial goals, tolerance, and time availability for sustainable wealth creation. I would suggest that as cadets, that should be part of the core of the Nigerian Defense Academy. By so doing, you are inculcating into the cadets, right, the spirit of investment, the spirit of saving, and the spirit of creating wealth. Diversified investment strategies involves equities benefits, which provides ownership, dividend, and long-term growth while acting as an inflation hedge. Fixed is that products like bonds and treasury bills, or which offer inflation is important, where you spread it, you take some risk, and you also take some succor. That is very, very important, because the succor will always mitigate. Focus on advice to navigate deregulated markets effectively. Trading versus investing is important. Using these strategies, either long-term or short-term, will certainly make a difference in the kind of investment that you finally get into. And once you are able to do this, you are able to put together the risk associated with investment growth potentials. This will help you on hands-on investment strategy. What you do not know, you certainly cannot benefit from. And that is why you must be aware. Financial education is key and critical in your ability to do this. And once you are able to do this, you are able to achieve your goals even in the long term. You will make sure that the risk associated with investment, and those are there. But the use of professional advice, the use of professional knowledge will help you to mitigate those risks. And it is important that there are causes to volatility. One of those causes are economic data, earning reports, and company leadership change, market sentiments, of course, new innovations, herd mentality, and interest rate change, among others. Volatility is there. How do you manage that volatility? One is to purchase low at a low price. The theory of investment says, buy low, you must also avoid panic and stay calm. You must also focus on cost with diversification. We are spoken to of collective investment. Collective investment is diversification, small capital. Everybody can invest in a fund. There is nothing that is left out of it. So we'll get a particular amount of every month, and that will be invested in a collective investment scheme for that child to either grow with or actually be the source of the child's university education. My prayer is university in the world, including the NDA. My prayer here is that the time that a cadet graduates from here, first choice will be that my child must attend the NDA irrespective of how it is, because NDA surpasses all. My prayer is that every cadet here will dream of his child going to Stanford University, to Oxford University, to Cambridge University, and to Harvard University, international mark. And that can own your service to this nation. Ideal for passive investors. Collective investment schemes are very important. They are suitable for individuals who have limited time to actively monitor and manage investment. Personal fund management is important and is available, and cost efficiency will be the hour of the day. So it is important that as cadets, you speak to your broker to make sure that they are doing that. You must open your eyes, because in this day and time, people are not people, and you must not be those that they will take advantage of. Clearly, when you ask questions, you will have answers. But that is why, and that is where the Securities and Exchange Commission comes in. The Securities and Exchange is your partner in press, ready to protect you whenever, wherever you are. And so, investment protection and fraud prevention requires due diligence and verification. Investors must verify operators' registration and confirm agent credentials to avoid fraudulent. Why would we do that? I want to share something with you. Even the officers that are here today, I know some of you may have invested. And while you had invested, you did not receive your dividends. Website. There's a website page where you can check your investment. And that website is www.sec.gov.ng. I will hold on and I will repeat it again. www.sec.gov.ng. Didn't get it? All you need to do is to put in on Google SEC Nigeria. It will take you to our website. And once you get to our website, click the website, you will find e-dividends, e-dividend platforms. Click on it, put your name, all of dividends that you have not received will appear. And you are able to retrieve every month. So some of you millionaires that you already don't know. So take advantage of that and do that and come and thank me later. But as you finish clapping, remember that you are going to keep 10% of that money for the Nigerian Defense Academy. So, investor profiles are necessary and the strategy is important. For anyone that has come to you to make an investment, ask that person a question. Are you registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission? If you are registered, show me your registration certificate. If the person cannot show you their registration certificate, then it is a scam. Don't put your... I can beat my chest here that many officers may have been involved in scams. Oftentimes. So it's important that you verify. It's important that the SEC is ever available to providing you those answers. Very shortly, the SEC is launching the code wherein you can dial and find out if a particular investment is a legitimate investment. By November, that launch available to Nigerian public. You must also investment because it is where your treasure at your heart is. If you cannot monitor your investment, please delegate your work. Also know that you have to advisory as later to do that. While I begin, it is important to speak to you schemes. What are Ponzi schemes? Ponzi schemes are named agriculture and Ponzi. It's an Italian that ran America. In the 1920s, promised investors a 50% within a few months for what he claimed was an investment in mail. Ponzi used funds from new investors pay fake returns to earlier investors. A lot of us must have heard about Umana. A lot of us may have heard about NOS, have heard about MM. A lot of us may have heard about, most recently, about IBEX. And so many. I know clearly, even in Kaduna, there are a lot of them. The SEC is clamping down there. Recently, we have issued advisories to 82 companies who are fraudulent. And so important awareness. You have worked hard. You are slaved for this country. You have protected this country. And money. It will be totally just. It will be totally that that money to a scam bank. And support that about this is too good to be true, and certainly is not true. No one will give much money than himself. I tell you today that nobody likes you more than you. If somebody comes to tell you that if you invest 100,000, he's going to give you 60,000 as return in one, that person is a criminal. As law enforcement officers, all you ought to do to arrest that and put the person behind bar. So a fraudulent is a fraudulent investment in which returns to earlier investors are paid using the capital of new investors, rather than legit profit and business activities. The challenge in this is that everybody wants to be richer than. So oftentimes, into all of this, they don't tell their friends, so that they can come out richer and appear richer. Whereas, when they use the money also not able to tell them. Oftentimes, they commit suicide, and that's not our cause. So, what are the features of Ponzi schemes? Unregistered, sponsors, and schemes do not undertake or hold any investment portfolio. They just speak. They will be telling you things that you also cannot happen. Investment expenses. The parent of contributed monies in sensible investment, such as purchase and operation of commercial buses, commercial rickshaws, vehicles, commercial motorcycle transport. These, the use of technology in much the same way as technology has been used to revolutionize business processes, it has been applied to pumps. The use of Bitcoin for subscription and payment, investment, all the challenges of it. Return, income payouts, irrespective of market and economic conditions, and in the short time period, above what can be earned in any legitimate investment. And initial sum of money place the scheme by participants at the early stage of the scheme, because a lot of people still go into it knowing fully well these schemes are dangerous, but people tell them, let me go in first and let others come in later. I will have left to get seed, because it is the weak that put your money at the Ponzi scheme will get cost. Scheme polarization. Recruiters, income payout will usually be polarized by beneficiaries' friends, because how do they get your friend? They will say 3 people. When you bring 3 people, you earn more income. Those 3 people will bring 3 people. Those 3 people will bring 3 people. You will not become the 100th person who cannot be paid. It's important that we watch it. What are the factors that influence these schemes? These factors are important because we all have those factors in us. Economic instability. A study shows that 60.3% engage in Ponzi schemes because of economic conditions. However, it is sad that that economic condition that you have tried and even die in it if you attempt to use the Ponzi scheme. Greed. About 19.8% attributed because of turnover investment within a short time period. Oftentimes, we do that, believing, let me do it so quickly so that I can come out of it, which is a zero-sum game. It's also a reason why. So 10.1% said they invest as a means of diversifying. President became political, signed the Investment Securities Act into law. It shows the strongest political will that you can ever imagine. In that law stipulates that if you you have minimum 10 years behind bar if we catch you. Only that you will be subjected to paying an initial fine of 20 million naira if securities are sold of you. That is political will. And that is subject to a change, subject to an improvement. Which means, as far as we are concerned, as long as the SEC, the current day SEC, under the leadership of Mr. President exists, we have the political will to fight on this scheme. And we will this scheme. But motivating factors, sponsors of this scheme, opportunity to make fast, quick, easy money by exploiting others. I can tell you how many Nigerians suffer daily. 88,000 Nigerians were duped to the tune of 189 billion naira by a group of persons that ran what we call the MBA forest. Some of you may have been victims. They collected 189 billion from 88,000 Nigerians within 1 year. The most recent one was that of Sex, that collected 1.3 trillion from Nigerians within 1.5 years of operating in this country. It says is directing that money. We should direct that money to a pure and legitimate. And that is why I want to specially thank the Commandant, Major General A.K. Ibrahim, for inviting me here to at least give you knowledge, give you succor, and give you direction. Because his desire is for the well-being of Nigerian officers and indeed of this country in terms of Nigerian armed forces. Public ignorance of viable alternative options that I have listed through stocks, through equity, through commodities. You can invest. There are investment outlets that are genuine and will certainly provide you the kind of returns that you desire depending on your investment horizon. The participants, you too are interested in it. Sometimes investment, they say, is great gain. If you are content and the little you get, you properly manage it with budgets and with all of the discipline that it requires, you will be well always. Lack of public investor information is also a problem, and that's why we are here. That is why I'm gladdened that among 220 Nigerians, I was chosen to come and do the speech at this convocation lecture, to be able to enlighten us. And I promise you that having come here, I will not leave you. I will always be through the financial knowledge of cadets and officers of the Nigerian Army and Nigerian Armed Forces, and indeed to Nigerians. It is important to note that for us as the SEC, we have a responsibility, and that responsibility is to protect you, indeed Nigerians, who key into the modernization that is happening within our economy, who key into the opportunities that is available within our economy, who key into the renewed hope agenda, policies of government aimed at creating wealth and diversifying wealth among Nigerians. As a public servant, having been appointed by Mr. President, I owe all of you a responsibility to make sure that you have a safe investment, and that investment starts with responsibility in me to work for you and to work for all Nigerians to work for our mothers that have come here today to support us, that have come to share the joy of having cadets as graduates, of having officers as graduates, and of indeed supporting the officers that have built this institution in the last 61 years. I feel privileged and honored to have been invited. And as we move forward in the joint efforts to sanitizing our capital market and providing strong investment environment, climate, and opportunity for everyone hearing, we will continue to be of service, and we are ready to remain of service because we are here just to serve you. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Investment, investment, investment. Distinguished guests, ladies and our speaker has demonstrated his constructive blueprints as valid inputs for our financial self-actualization, wealth creation, economic growth. These will all drive policy formulation and implementation. Shall we therefore rise, give a standing ovation for the guest speaker for his intellectually enlightening and engaging presentation, please. Thank you. You may be seated. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as it is customary in the Nigerian Defense Academy, in events such as this, the Academy shows appreciation to deserving individuals and organizations by presenting them with gifts and souvenirs. May I therefore invite the commandant, supported by the Academy Provost, to step forward and present the souvenir to our guest speaker, the Commandant, sir. Thank you, the Commandant, sir. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we are gradually approaching the end of today's historic event. It's now time to express our sincere appreciation for your time and money. But before the vote of thanks, I crave your indulgence to make a couple of announcements. There will be a group photograph in front of the main entrance, the auditorium, immediately after the session. However, the guest speaker, the commandant, and other dignitaries will retire to the VIP lounge while the photograph stand is being set. We are kindly requested to maintain order and decorum to ensure a hitch-free photo event. Lunch will be served at the NDA Officers Mess and Golf Course for the guest speaker, the commandant, the deputy commandant, the academic provost, invited guests, principal, staff officers, and coordinator, Nigerian Defense Academy officers' wives, and other members of the Ndawowa. Deans of faculties are also expected to join the dignitaries at the end of the mess and of course. Staff of the Nigerian Defense Academy will have their lunch served at the NDA drill shed. Please see the faculty officers for your meal tickets for this. After the group photograph, after lunch, the guest speaker, alongside other dignitaries and of the Nigerian Defense Academy who have not visited our NDA Hall of Fame, are encouraged to also join up for a tour of the Nigerian Defense Academy Hall of Fame following lunch. I now respectfully invite the Academy Registrar, Brigadier General O.A. Ogunleye, to please step forward to give the vote of thanks on behalf of the Commandant, staff, cadets, and postgraduate students of the Nigerian Defense Academy. The Academy Registrar, sir.
Guest speaker for MOTME John Agama, Director General, Security Change Commission, the Commandant, Nigerian Defense Academy, representatives of the General Officer Commanding 1 Division, Nigerian Army, and the Air Officer Commanding Training Command, Commandant of the Nigerian Army School of Infantry, Grant Officer Academy, and all institutions present, commanders of military formations, heads of paramilitary establishments, vice chancellors, provosts, rectors, and registrars, tertiary institutions, heads of ministries, departments, and agencies, past commandants of the Nigerian Defense Academy, the Academy Provost, principal staff officers of the Academy, Academy Librarian, the Coordinator, Nigerian Defense Academy Officers Association, and other members of the association present, senior military officers, both serving and retired, deans, faculties, directors, heads of graduating cadets of 72 regular course and postgraduate students, families of the graduating cadets, postgraduate students, distinguished invited guests, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. General Ogunleye, the Academy Registrar. It is my singular honor and privilege to move the vote of thanks at this auspicious occasion. This morning, we had the rare privilege of listening to an insightful convocation lecture titled Pathway to Economic Prosperity for a Public Servant in a Deregulation. John Agama, the Director General, Securities and Exchange Commission. No doubt, the highly celebrated but down-to-earth scholar brought his wealth of experience and scholarship to bear in educating us on the ethical opportunities that will enable public officers live a comfortable life both in and out of service. There is no doubt that the lecture has been very educative and inspiring.
It is on this note that I, on behalf of the Commandant, staff, and cadets, as well as the postgraduate students of the Nigerian Defense Academy, thank our esteemed guest speaker most sincerely for finding time out of his very busy schedule to share his thoughts with us on this all-important topic. Our guest speaker, sir, we are grateful to you for honoring our invitation vocation in honor of the graduate cadets of 72 regular course and the postgraduate students. It is obvious that your choice as the speaker was not a mistake. I therefore thank you both sincerely. Existing cordial relationship between the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Nigerian Defense Academy will continue to blossom in the years ahead. Permit me to also at this juncture humbly acknowledge our chief host, our invaluable commandant, for his visionary and unwavering commitment to excellence, both military and academic training. Your stewardship, sir, continues to elevate the academy's reputation as a center of excellence that is second to none. Our sincere appreciation also goes to the representative of the officer commanding and air officer commanding and other military commanders as mission, which we do not take for granted. I also thank visiting vice chancellors, pros, rectors, and registrars from sister universities present with us here today. We sincerely appreciate your solidarity and partnership. Together, we shall continue to raise the bar of our country, Nigeria. My sincere appreciation also goes to the Academy for the invaluable roles you played towards the success of the education. I also thank other special guests and well-wishers who came from here to grace this auspicious occasion. Permit me to appreciate the coordinator, Nigeria, for their continuous support to all activity in the academy and for always keeping the home front. To our graduates and postgraduate students, I congratulate you on this milestone. I hope this lecture will serve as a beacon for success as you embark on the next chapter of your life, whether in service, business, research, or leadership. Finally, I sincerely thank all those who contributed to the success of today's occasion, especially those that worked behind the scene. As we conclude this continue to resonate, of discipline, scholarship, and patriotism remain our guiding light. Thank you all, and may God continue to bless the Nigerian Defense Academy and the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Once again, thank you all, and God bless.
Thank you, sir. May we rise for the national anthem. we please remain on our seats while the guest speaker, the commandant, the academic provost, and other dignitaries return VIP lounge for recess.
Can now go to the entrance of the auditorium as the photograph stamp is prepared. You join up for the group photograph also. Those of us participating in the group photograph, the guest speaker is on process. Gentlemen, can you join up for the group photograph? For your time. From the compare stand, we thank you for your presence, your attention, and your company throughout this historic convocation lecture. May your stay in the academy be pleasant, and may your job back you. Thank you. Please. Officers, cadets.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.